First of all, how are you, Mike?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just staying home, trying to stay safe. So, the LinkedIn question, I'm going to get to the point because I know you're a busy person.
Yeah.
So, how do you use LinkedIn every day? Well, I have it. I church it up. I put the headline. You know, I reach out to a few people just like any other marketing channel, but probably I'm missing something just because that's not I haven't put enough effort to it. So, any advice? What is it you do?
Yes. I mean, of all the platforms right now, I encourage anyone, especially people that are either B2B or trying to get the attention of people who are in the business world. And, obviously with my core business being in real estate as a chief marketing officer of a large brokerage, I'm primarily talking to other real estate agents and realtors across the country. And so for me, as an agent, and I'm not an agent, but as an agent who's watching or a business person who's watching, who's doing a lot of B2B stuff, in my opinion, LinkedIn is probably the most important channel for you to be spending a bulk of your time on. And I say that after, years and years of having a lot of success on Facebook, and I still love Facebook, obviously doing a lot on Instagram, paying very much attention and playing around with TikTok and doing all of that. That's all great. Twitter's great, YouTube's great. They're all great channels. They all serve a purpose. For me, from a B2B perspective, there's nothing more powerful than LinkedIn, but I think we overcomplicate it. I think we overcomplicate a lot of the channels. For me, what I know works is, and what does not work, let's start there, is the whole let me go connect with you and then send you a message. Right. And so a lot of people will do that. And a lot of people don't even take the time to not come across as salesy. But even the ones that don't, in your mind, you may be saying, oh, well, I'm bringing value. No, you're not. Right. We have zero connection, zero trust, zero anything built. And you're instantly messaging me, which in my head, whether you are or you're not, you're trying to ask me for something. Right. And so I don't find that to be the best strategy. What I find to be the best strategy is, sure, grow your network by connecting with them, but rather than go and message them, go to their content and start commenting, right? Start engaging on stuff that they're actually putting out. Go and engage. To me, and this works on Facebook and Instagram just as well, but especially on LinkedIn, if you are not going and commenting 15 times a day on different posts and just engaging real comments, you are missing the boat, because LinkedIn, unlike the others, puts your job title and the company you work for in every comment, right? So subconsciously, every single person who sees that sees what you do for a living. So if it's you and you've got, marketing director or marketing consultant, whatever, title you have on your LinkedIn, that's being seen by every single person every single time you comment. And it's human behavior, especially if you're commenting on normal people's stuff. Every single person, just like the other platforms, is going to get a notification. Angel just commented on your post. Well, who's Angel? And they're going to come click to see what you said, right? And now we're having conversations. And for me, that's the biggest disconnect I see on any social channel. Is, to me, social is simply conversation at scale. That's it, right? And if we treat it that way rather than a marketing platform, if we actually treat it as just, I'm going to have conversations, rather than me being limited to having a one-on-one conversation with you at a bar, I can do it with 500 people a day from the comfort of my house. Now we start getting to somewhere that's really interesting from a business perspective. So that's how I approach it. And then leveraging just the nuances of the platform that I particularly like, because when you're in business, you want to do business with other people who are also in business and employed, which is what LinkedIn is filled with. So I love the fact that I get notified that John Smith just got promoted to VP of sales. And all I have to do is hit say congrats. It literally types it for me and sends them a message, right? These are all just simple one-on-one engagements, but rather than just getting a birthday update on Facebook, I can actually get promotions. I can get notifications when someone puts out a good piece of content. Like for me, it's just, that's how I leverage the platform. And if you do that strategically within the network and within people that you're trying to get the attention of, it will work and you will get their attention rather than coming across as spammy.
So, and this is why I love to have these conversations, because it's not about, who knows more on what. You just explain something in a way that you didn't tell me anything different, but it caught my attention when you said, I'm going to have a conversation instead of I'm going just to, promote and sell like most people do. So I put a note here, I wrote here, I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to make it a commitment that, ending this conversation I'm going to have a reminder here. I'm just going to go and make a conversation. I'm going to see if and what differences it makes. And I let you know. Do you gamify anything? Do you use anything to motivate you? For example, like every time I see the weekly, so many people saw your post. Do you use that for anything, or so many people saw your profile? That's the one that LinkedIn says.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, from a content perspective, any content creator is constantly looking at, how many views did I get, who engaged. And for me, we certainly look at those metrics. We push out a lot of content. So we're constantly looking at like what resonated, what didn't, what did well on one platform versus the other. And that's primarily for the benefit of our consumer, right? We want to make sure that we're giving content that other people actually find valuable. But at the same time, which is a very interesting mix, I really don't care either, because I'm never going to put out something strictly because I believe that somebody else is going to like it if I don't truly want to put it out and don't believe in it, right? There's so many things we could do. One of our partners drives a Ferrari. We could easily drive that Ferrari in every video and get, extra views. But it's not the image we're trying to portray, because we realize that he's part of, 2% of the population that drives a Ferrari. So, we could, right? We could do that clickbait. We could do things just to get extra views and use those metrics, and I call them vanity metrics, right? And those have a place. But for me, I don't really pay attention to a lot of that. What I pay attention to is really, it's really selfish, I guess, but it's really like, am I enjoying what I'm doing, right? When I get up every day, that's my motivator. Am I excited to create that piece of content? Right?
I'm having a blast. Actually, I don't know about you, but I'm working harder than ever. No, I don't mean like harder in a struggling way. Like, I don't know. I seem to be putting more hours. I'm having more fun. Maybe because I don't have to drive and I find myself with more hours. Maybe because the meetings are through video. Who knows why? But I'm having a blast. Here's my last question, Mike, if you don't mind, because you manage, under the company, that you still the chief, the marketing director for Century 21 Beggins, correct?
Correct.
So what do you tell the realtors to do on LinkedIn?
So I have, and it's really interesting. You can go check it out. I'll link you over to it. But we actually put together on Beggins3.com, which is where all of our content sits.
What is the website again?
Beggins3, Beggins, the number 3.com. Mm-hmm. And so that's where all of our content goes. But we actually put together some guides specifically for our agents. One's like a listing guide. So I have a listing client. What do I do now? I've got a buyer's client. What do I do now? Then we put together a daily marketing guide. And the daily marketing guide literally is, it really, once you get efficiency, could take you under an hour to do every day. But it's something that we hold our agents accountable to go do these things in this guide. And it's literally a step-by-step guide. Go do this here on Facebook. Then go to Instagram and do this. You then go to LinkedIn and do this. And really, it's a very simplified guide, because when I first joined these guys, I came from the private equity world. I came from a different industry. And so I started trying to teach them everything that we would normally do, sales funnels and how to build ads out and do it correctly and layer targeting and do all it. And then I realized, like, we are nowhere near being on the same plane, right? They're too busy. and they're essentially entrepreneurs that are they're solopreneurs because they're by themselves. I mean, they have us as a broker, but they're really in business for themselves, and they have different levels of understanding of marketing and technology and everything else. We said, you know what, let's simplify this, because this really is just a people and communications business. That's what we consider real estate. That's all it is, right? And that's pretty much every business on the planet, but that's certainly what real estate is. So we just said, all right, if that's what it is, then all they need to do is talk to people. And if all they need to do is talk to people, then we just need to give them a guide that's going to allow them to talk to people every single day on all these platforms in a very simple manner. And so it's filled with very much of commenting, engaging, how to do the same thing in groups, how to go and strategically grow their network, and how to use simple things like, hey, let's add a past client. But to keep your past clients close to you, you need to go and engage in their content, because if you engage in their content, it's going to tell Facebook's algorithm or LinkedIn's algorithm or whatever platform you're on that you care about what that person has to say, which means they're going to start putting it in your news feed, which is going to be very easy for you to engage and stay top of mind with your client, right, with your past client. So just little things like that. So the guide literally step by step with screen shares and everything else walks them through exactly what to do on each platform. So you may find it helpful as well, just as like just a little reminder. And then what we do at the end of that guide, if you follow it, you can put in your email. And when you put in your email, we'll actually send you a calendar invite, and it'll put a notification into your phone as a reminder every day to do those things. So it just serves as kind of to hold them accountable.
I wasn't planning to ask you this question, but I have to ask. Maybe we should have another conversation a different day, because I know you're pressed for time, and I do want to thank you for not only for allowing me to record this, but to giving me your knowledge. If it's anything I can do, I know we are kind of in the similar sphere, but if I can help you remotely from anywhere, I'm staying at home as much as I can, trying to, my wife has a Sjogren's syndrome, so I don't want anything to happen to her.
Yeah, be careful.
So I'm staying at home, but if I can do for you anything here, just send, I'm a Facebook or text message away. I caught my attention that you say that, because, the question is what platform, what service are you using to send the reminders? And the reason is I'm asking you that is because recently I kind of start sprinkling content here and there, basically just to see if I can. I'm not ready to make it at scale yet. Basically, what I'm doing is sending daily reminders to a bunch of my clients via text, with a task every day that they need to do. Tasks that for you and I just come and send, but you need that, that reminder, that notification. I call them marketing reminders. I used to have a card that was the original idea of the product, that you pull a card and you do the task for the day. But because of all this, it made me think that I could just automate it through text message. I have a system right now, but I'm in beta testing, and I'm using Google Voice and just by hand, day 1, day 2, day 3 right now. But the plan is to automate it, right? And I do have a few options, but I'm wondering, what is it you guys using to automate the reminders?
Yeah, so for those automatic reminders, we have the full G Suite, right? So we go into our Google Calendar on our end, and through Google Calendar, we can create the events that we want to send out. And then we use a program called Zapier. I don't know if you use Zapier, but So we use Zapier. So at the end of the form, you can go into Zapier through integrations, and it will take, as soon as someone sends that in, whether you want it to go via text or email, you can actually have that reminder automatically set. That event will automatically email to them and invite them to accept that calendar invite in both iCalendar and in Google. So it'll set it to basically whatever their primary calendar is. It'll default to that, and that can all be programmed through Zapier.
I get that part, and I love that part. I had a similar idea a while back, but let me ask you, I think my not showstopper, the step that I never crossed, and probably I didn't put enough effort to it, is that when it's a unique content, you have to keep maintaining that calendar. And I wanted to find a better way to maintain the calendar with reminders. I'm going to assume that you have weekly reminders that they have to do every week, like, go ahead and comment in LinkedIn, or go ahead and comment on Facebook or something like that. So you don't have, or I'm mistaken and you are actually inputting calendar reminders every week, every 2 weeks, every month.
Yeah, so what we do on that reminder in particular, it's set up Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. to send them a reminder on what exactly to do, right? Because that's a daily marketing guide, so we want them doing those activities daily. So because it's the same activity daily, it's much easier, right, than saying, hey, on Monday I want you to do this, on Tuesday I want you to do this, because obviously that would be a lot more setup infrastructure-wise within your calendar to make that happen. So for me, we set up the event one time and then it's pretty easy. Now, the nice thing about it is if we wanted to edit that, we could, right? We could very easily edit the event. Also, the individual user can go in and edit it. If they don't like the timing or whatever, they can go in and edit it on their end. So it really was just meant to be, hey, that little reminder, that little nudge, you need to go post and comment and do these things today. And so it's reminding them every single day if they accept that. Now, additionally, we create, so me and my team personally create a piece of content, new creative, every single day that we then send out with copy to all of our agents. And so we've got about 420 agents in our brokerage. So every single morning, they receive a piece of content with copy written for them that all they have to do is literally download that video or save that picture and then go upload it themselves into their own platform. And so we do that for them. Some of our agents really, really use that and leverage it. Others don't, completely up to them. They're independent contractors. But those are just some of the little things we're trying to do to automate some of the process. And we use a platform called Sprout Social to kind of schedule and do that with all the content.
I've seen that one, but I don't use it.
Yeah, it's not the cheapest tool out there, but it's really effective. I mean, it's got a lot of features, so we really like it. But there's certainly, I'm sure there's a cheaper version out there. It's not it's fairly expensive for what it is, but it really does work extremely well.
Mike, thank you. Anything I can do for you now that
I love what you're doing, man. Just keep it up, and if I can help you or anyone in your network in any way, I'm here. And
thank you.
Looking forward to the social media day coming up.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. I just want to bring value. I think last time people have a great time. I didn't hear a single complaint. And if I can provide this, I was planning to do it in person this year, but these all things happen. So I'm going to go online. I just got to get creative and to make sure that we provide value.
Zoom's really effective. I mean, we usually do what's called Next Level University, which is like our big training for our agents that goes really deep dive. And so we typically do that by production level. So like day one, we have, our 0 to 4. So basically brand new agents come. Day 2 is our intermediate agents. And then day 3 is like our top agents, right? So, in person, the last time we did it at a local hotel. We averaged probably 75 agents a day in there. This last time around, we had it scheduled in the hotel and then we had to move it to virtual. I mean, we had well over 100 agents in every single room. So we actually were able to impact and get in front of even more agents than we would have, had we done it in the hotel. So I think you're going to find that doing it virtually is the way to go. We use Zoom heavily, right? So every single one of our agents has their own Zoom room. And then we have a brokerage one as well that we call our training room. So that training room is a webinar. Typically with Zoom, your webinar is going to host, like ours hosts up to 500 people. And then your individual rooms, I think, are capped at like 40 people. And it's usually 40 minutes in length before the meeting will get kicked out and you'll have to go back in. So what you could do is you could have one main room, right, as a webinar. And then one thing we could talk about, depending on the day and stuff and time, we may even be able to sponsor that and let you use our room if you don't want to pay for it, because we have the enterprise account.
June 26th.
Okay. So I can get with our team, make sure we don't have anything scheduled. I don't think we do that far out. So we could just block the training room off.
That's awesome, Mike. If that can happen, you let me know how we can brand it and promote Century 21. Anyway, Mike, I'm not gonna. We can talk for hours about things because that's how our brain works. But I know you're a busy man, and I appreciate your time. And again, if it's anything I can do for you, you know, I'm just a text away.
Of course, same, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. Stay safe.
Yes,
I will
sir.
I will send you a message, and I appreciate for the you know, if the Zoom thing can happen, I will send you a message so you can have the details in a message and you can verify with your team. But if it can happen, definitely we appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll be able to make it happen. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you got it. Have a great day. All right.
Okay, bye.